San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Rangers fell 8-5 to the Angels in Anaheim, a series they wrap up tonight as they try and avoid getting swept. You can catch it right here starting at 8 o'clock with the pregame as Nathan Eovaldi will get the start. The Astros took their series with the Nationals, finishing off earlier today with a 9-1 victory. They have the day off tomorrow before heading to Boston for a series with the Red Sox on Friday. And according to Bob Nightingale, there's interest in Carlos Correa reunion.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining me, whether that's 94.1 on your FM dial, if you happen to be listening online at sasportstar.com via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or you're watching our show live on YouTube. That's right. We put all of our shows live via YouTube, stream there. Just go to YouTube, search SA Sports Star. Go ahead, like, subscribe. You're able to comment along with the show as it happens, like everybody in the bullpen already doing. Nick Trey, Fred Records, Jacob Eric. Appreciate all y'all for riding along with me tonight as we continue our Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage. And we get real NFL football tomorrow, the Hall of Fame game. We'll look at Trey Lance as he'll be starting for the Chargers. You can catch that game right here on San Antonio Sports Star, by the way. Following up on the Carlos Correa story, because trade deadline's approaching and trades are going down as we speak. According to Bob Nightingale of USA Today, a reunion could be in order, with the Astros reportedly having interest in bringing back twin shortstop Carlos Correa, who started his career with the Astros, won a World Series with them, etc., etc. Nightingale reports Correa has told friends on the Astros he'd be willing to waive his no-trade clause to rejoin them and would welcome playing third base, as the Astros need help there, with Isaac Paredes news expected to miss the rest of the season with a hamstring injury that could require surgery. So, man, that would be really cool to see him back. And apparently the Giants are making Justin Verlander available ahead of the trade deadline for the right package. So maybe they can get the whole band back together as they try and make a run at this thing, because if you look at their injured list and all the players on it, the fact that the Astros are not only in first in the American League West, but at one point earlier this week was first in the American League, or tied for first, that's a testament to what those guys are doing down there in Houston. So a couple of pieces, maybe they're right back in World Series contention. We will see. As for the guys, they've been in Oxnard all week. As you know, AJ and Rob early this morning, they're reacting to what happened yesterday on the Blitz and dissecting what Stephen Jones was saying when he was talking about, you know, what they're going to do at left tackle now that Guyton's injured, and Diggs and Revel's injury updates, the extension talks with Micah and the upgrade of the running back room. Well, they were breaking it all down earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle live at the tennis courts from Oxnard, California, for our AA Best Bail Bonds training camp coverage, which is brought to you in part by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, Jim Beam, and AARP.
The Blitz yesterday got to sit down with Stephen Jones and talk about the Cowboys. And Stephen, they first talked to him about the Tyler Guyton injury. Here's what Stephen had to say about that.
Dodged a major bullet yesterday, so we're smiling ear to ear. We said we're not going to gripe about anything else after, because we thought we were dealing with a season-ending knee injury with Tyler when we last saw him, and then Dr. Cooper's one of the best in the business, and he doesn't miss many of them. But he was glad to call us and say I was wrong on this.
All right, so take us through what it was like, because I know Cowboy Nation and Twitter was just the first
goodness,
reports.
yeah.
It's torn out for the season. So for that length of time, everybody in Cowboy Nation, what was it like for you guys when you first heard the initial report thoughts and then got that phone call?
You were hoping it was a nightmare. You want to go back to bed, wake up, start over again. I can assure you. But no, I was sitting with Jerry when I got the text, and I just yelled out. I go, "Oh my God!" He said, "It's not torn." What? So it was. I mean, we did live with it for about 3 or 4 hours while we were waiting to get him down to get the MRI and then get the results back. And but anyway, like I said, it was some of the best news we've ever seen in a long time.
So obviously a jovial Stephen Jones in that news.
You know, we put ourselves in, and there was a bit of panic. When I first heard, can you imagine? They're sitting around, and I guarantee you, they had a list of tackles that they were were looking to acquire when that text came through. So not only are you dealing with the season ending, you got to go take care of business. So I would be as happy. I'd be high-fiving too.
Well, they know though that you still have to replace him for the foreseeable future. So here's what Stephen said about how they plan on doing that.
That's what you always hope happens. And of course, we've got a guy we picked last year, Nate Thomas, who's really turning some heads in that offensive line room, and he's probably going to be the first up out there at left tackle to go out there and go to work. And you hope he just keeps on keeping on and excelling, and then something really good can come out of this. So. And then we've got other players at Denijay and, some guys who played this game. Awesome Richards, he's a young guy who we've liked who needs to step up for us. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys do.
Not a name I was expecting to hear as the next man up.
Well, the funny thing about this is he brought up Asim Richards. He was, according to the depth charts I'd been working off of, the number 2. And Nate was the 3. So I don't know what has transpired over the last week, but it looks like Nate has taken somebody's job and moved up to the de facto backup there at left tackle.
Another guy we've seen a lot of just not wearing pads is Trayvon Diggs. He is making his rounds around here, walking all over the place, wearing his sports bra top.
Which is a weird thing to watch these cats wear.
All these dudes wearing sports bras out here, but he's one of them. He's just not wearing any pads over his. He's just it's out and about. But they did ask Stephen about the return timeline for Mr. Diggs.
I think it's just getting a feel for him over the next, another week or two. We should have a really good feel, for when we can get him back. He's working at it. Hats off to him. Obviously, our preference would have been to have him here the whole time. And in our mind, we got one of the best in the business. And but anyway, I think he's really the competitor in him's coming out. He's wanting to be out there competing, and we'll probably have a better feel for that over the next week to 10 days.
Clarence Hill of LDS says it looks like September. It won't be opening weekend, but they think that he'll be on a time frame to be playing in the middle of September.
Okay. Look, we're crossing fingers here, but we may be getting to talk to Deron Bland today and bring that to you guys tomorrow. But I'm curious his thoughts on that cornerback room right now, where he's kind of the de facto guy, and
they're kind of banged up, so there's going to be some work to be had.
Then they asked Stephen about the Micah contract, something that he wasn't all that thrilled to discuss.
Not much, because it's not good for anybody to vet these negotiations in the media. I mean, no one ever knew Jake Ferguson was doing a contract, and that's usually how they work best. Is you're just working behind the scenes, and there's always strategy. Every agent, every player is different in terms of what their tolerance level are for things. We respect them all. I like to think I got a great rapport with most agents in this league, and but every one of them's different. Every negotiation's different because the player's different, and the agent has to handle that player, in the best possible way he can. But it's just part of it, as you said. It's going on around the league, and it happens.
You know, Stephen, you said something interesting the other day that Micah has to want to get paid. What did you mean by that?
You know, I think I've said all I'm going to say for now
right.
on Micah. You know, obviously we got nothing but huge, tremendous respect for him and the talent he is. But, you know, like I said, it's just not productive. Anytime you happen to slide in over there, it's not productive to talk about.
All right, Vic, I'm gonna skip the number 7, and we're gonna come back to it. But I want to play that Schefter clip. What Adam Schefter said about the negotiations between Parsons and the Cowboys.
This sounds different to me. This sounds a little bit more personal from both sides. It sounds like Dallas is upset with the fact that it felt like it was getting closer to a deal, and then that deal went sideways. And I think Micah Parsons feels like this deal should have been done. I don't think Micah is real happy with them. I don't think they're real happy with him. I don't think anybody's real happy with anybody. And I don't think there's a deal that's being discussed right now, not to mention being close.
That surprise you?
It does. And this is interesting because once when the last CBA was signed, part of what the owners wanted was those fines have to stick. You know, if you're holding out, you're going to pay those fines. And we want to eliminate the opportunity for me as an owner to even waive them. We're going to eliminate. You have to pay the fine. And so what that turned out was you don't have the holdouts anymore. You have the hold in.
Right.
So, you know, we've talked about it.
You have a tweaked back.
Yeah. Well, you've got the tweaked back. You've got the guys that are kind of standing around, and there's that proximity thing where it's just going to create tension because the dude I want is standing right there. It's not like he's at home working out. We don't know what's going on. Are they talking? Are they not talking? Here, you expect that they're seeing each other. The hold in gets things done. But what I think is creating is this anxiety. I mean, this anger. Why sign the deal, dude? You're right here. I've offered it to you. Come and play it. And I do think it's getting personal, and I think it's because of proximity. He's not someplace else. It's not agent calling agent. We can see him standing there being just on the periphery, but not being involved. And I can see how you're like, I've offered you this, and then you backed out or whatever the case might be. And I keep seeing you here. And I think it adds to the personal side of the negotiation.
Do you remember another Cowboys negotiation where it got ugly? Like, personal per se?
Never really personal. But Dax it got a little tense. I mean, the most personal I ever saw was Emmett. I mean, when Emmett was holding out, that was ugly. But that's been a long time ago. Again, it falls back with guys like this. Jerry has to a man paid. He's always paid. Every one of them has gotten paid. Now, it hadn't been easiest, and as Stephen said, every player's different. And I still have this expectation that it's going to happen. But the unique part of this is Micah's here. And you really notice his absence because he's not running with the ones. You got the other guys. And
I mean, it's very similar to what Dak was doing last year.
Very much.
Dak was walking around, yelling at me from the weight room,
it gets
walking
tense.
around on the field.
And for last year, though, we all felt like he was going to get paid until the end of camp. And then we thought, oh, well, you know, it's going to happen next year.
Yes, it's a prove-it year.
And then he's still paid, even when we thought, oh, well, it's not. And we can go all the way back to Dez and all the stars. As ugly as it was, at the end of the day, Jerry always came up with the money.
It's very difficult to imagine it not getting done. But what Adam Schefter's saying, and you know, he's only as plugged in as the Cowboys and the agents want him to be. But
and Adam's an owner, shill.
Yeah,
he's speaking for the owners.
But for him to say, it doesn't feel like anything's even close.
Well, I think the one thing that
surprising. I thought we were close.
Well, I think the one thing that could happen is the spitefulness. Once it gets personal, that's the thing that will make a deal collapse. You know, as long as it's business and you're talking about, you know, these numbers and you can make them impersonal. Once it starts getting personal and you're looking guys in the eye on a regular, like, dude, come on, what's up?
All Mike has talked about is how this is all business. This is part of the business. This is part of the business. Why are we talking about personal now? What is that? Like,
I think it's the proximity, and I do think that it is a time when, I mean, if you're Micah and you're being the good cop and you're doing all the things you're asked, but at the end of the day, you're still trying to come up with, I don't know, $100 million guaranteed. I mean, the dollars, there's a lot of stress when you're dealing with that kind of cash. So every hour, every minute, I think it gets a little bit more tense. And maybe if he wasn't here, it wouldn't feel so personal.
And maybe that's part of it, is the fact that he is there when CD wasn't last year. But it's going to be very interesting to see if they can get this done and finished while they're still in Oxnard before they end up heading back to Frisco, and just get Micah some work, start getting his body ready, because I do think, especially with as chippy as we've seen things at practice, and we'll get to that, this getting him right and ready for the season is big. And it's big for all the players. And I think we've seen prolonged holdouts take their toll on players in previous years now. And I think the ramp up is very, very important as we move forward. And it's going to be very cognizant to watch when this deal does, if at all, finally get done. And if it gets done in a timely manner. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger, right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, there's talk about a commitment to the running game. So the Blitz talked with one of the guys vying for that starting job. Miles Sanders joined the Blitz a little bit earlier today. We'll bring you that coming up next, right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the second annual Back to School Drive this Saturday from 11 till 1 or while supplies last at the Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-age children while supplies last. So don't be late. This Saturday, 11 till 1, presented by the Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Sponsored in part by Las Palapas, Array, the College of Healthcare Professionals, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website is alawyer4us.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat $1 billion insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do, help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community when and where you can. When an insured driver seriously injures someone, $1 billion insurance company uses everything it can to pay as little as possible. Every insurance company you have heard of has a very large staff of attorneys already working against you. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after a collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyer4us.com.
Progressive's Teen Driver Discount could lower the cost of insurance for your teenager and save you some money. And then you can still spend money on them. Because just when you think you have a grasp on spending, new sneakers. And then it's money for a school field trip. And of course, spending money. Oh yeah, and a new phone to replace the one they dropped in the toilet. Oh, don't remind me. So just get Progressive's Teen Driver Discount. And then you can continue to spend money on them endlessly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states and subject to terms and conditions.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. Classes start August 13th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SHEV.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 21st and 22nd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas.
Details and discounted rooms with promo code BLITZ available online at sasportstar.com.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Hey, Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage brought to you in part by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, Jim Beam, and AARP. All week long, we have been bringing you all the best, including Stephen Jones, Jay Toya. Trying to remember everybody we've had all week. Earlier today, Todd Archer. Everything's going to be on our YouTube page or in the audio vault at AA Best Bail Bonds audio player at sasportstar.com if you want to go check that out. But earlier today, they were joined by one of the guys vying for that new running back role. And there's been a lot of talk about running the damn ball this year, including earlier today where Brian Schottenheimer was saying,
well, I mean, we obviously have a bunch of time. Honestly, Badger, I think D-lines in this league are all now elite. You mentioned 2 in the division, 3 in the division that are great, just like ours is. We have tools, but, we don't have to answer that right now. And I'm just excited to watch, Nate, go out there and compete against some elite pass rushers that we have out here. See awesome compete. And then, again, they're not going to win every rep. They're going to make mistakes, and that's part of practice. And when we get to the game planning part of it, our system is flexible enough that, we have all the tools that we need to be able to change things up. And at the end of the day, the best thing you can do for any offensive line, any team offense, when you're playing elite defensive linemen is pound the frickin' football, man. Just frickin', try to shove it up their ass. And that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to be physical.
And that has been a constant for Brian Schottenheimer. And there is, I believe, belief, unlike Mike McCarthy, because we've seen previous offenses he's actually coordinated, and that has been a staple of it, is running and play action off of that. Well, one of the new guys in the running back room, Miles Sanders, joined the Blitz earlier today to talk about their commitment to running the football, what the competition's been like, and the fighting and chippiness at practice, and the fact that they literally had to serve a punishment after ending practice earlier today because of all the fights.
Miles Sanders joining us here on the Blitz.
How you guys doing?
We're good. Yeah, you set?
Yes, sir. Yes,
all right. What happened at practice today? You guys got in trouble?
Oh yeah, we got in trouble. We got some big. It gets real competitive out there, and guys, a lot of animosity going on. I don't know.
Well, what's funny about that, Miles, is you guys, we see fights at training camp all the time, but at the end of the day, you guys walk back inside, your teammates.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you feel about, skirmishes like that?
I feel where Coach Shoddy's coming from. At the end of the day, we got to be pros. At the end of the day, we're not wrestlers, we're not boxers, we're football players. So yeah, I mean, somebody might be out of hand after a play or whatnot, but in a real game, if you throw a punch, you're kicked out. So that's what Coach Shoddy's trying to emphasize, and the fact that it was a little out of control today. He was just showing that the importance of practice and needing those periods where he was like, okay, we're going to kind of punish us of not finishing the period, just make us run and making us realize like we're hurting ourselves by just doing extra stuff and not out here playing ball.
What was the last time a coach made you run sprints?
It was been a long time.
But I say that the energy at practice, and we heard about it. But when we got out here and we saw it, all these coaches running around, all the energy, you can feel the energy. You've been in a couple of different places now in big time ball at Penn State. Compare what this training camp has been like to others you've been in.
I don't think I can really compare it as far as like the layout. The NFL with the rules and stuff, everything's pretty much the same now, but the energy is definitely a little different from everywhere I've been. The coaches are keeping that energy to even like certain days when you can loaf, they're just trying to make like any regular team can come out here and loaf, but no, we're coming here to work. It's a practice after an off day, so we're out here, we're finna work. So, yeah.
Cowboys running back Miles Sanders joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Miles, you come into this situation, and I would think a pretty good opportunity for you. Cowboys, their running game has not been all that spectacular lately. You come in, NFL veteran who has had some success. I mean, you got to be looking at this as a great opportunity.
Absolutely. These guys said they need a running back. They need a starter. They don't have a starter. So I thought it was a great opportunity, to leave my situation, what I was going through, and just try to, get a restart. I got a lot of tread left on my legs. So I'm just trying to, finish off strong.
The fact that there isn't a starter named yet, it really is an open competition, or at least publicly it looks that way. I don't know if in the room you guys have already been told some things, but to come in and be able to compete, you say you've got a lot of tread left on your tires. As a Cowboy fan, I wasn't a big fan of yours when you were in Philly.
Sorry,
but well, we'll get there. But Carolina, it just didn't work, and I know, one, you got tread on your tires, but you also want to prove some people wrong, right?
Yeah, I got a big chip on my shoulder. I got a lot of ball left to play. It's just I don't even like talking about it because it was a definitely a moment in my life where I had to stay close to God. Get back on that type of stuff, and just pray every day and just control what I could control. But I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy with the situation that I have, and just blessed to be in the league as a running back in 7 years. So,
Miles, when you look at that, and you guys are competing, everybody's out here competing for a job, and that's the way the NFL is. And you've been through it before with the competition. But how do you guys go from the competition on the field, and when you guys get in that running back room, you're all teammates and you're trying to help each other out?
It's not that hard as people think. We're not out here, being disrespectful towards each other. It's a friendly competition for sure. With everybody pretty much in the room ready to trying to prove something, but it's not hard at all. We got a great relationship. It's a fun relationship, especially with our coach that we have, and he makes sure we on our toes. We're always attentive and always interactive with the meetings. He's always constantly asking questions about the whole playbook. We're always constantly on the playbook about the little things that we have to know. And it's just a fun, friendly competition. We're in there cracking jokes. We know how to let loose, but we also know how to focus in too. But we get a lot of work done.
Miles Sanders joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. You look at so many go running back by committee in today's NFL. You're trying to be RB1. As a running back, do you want 20, 25 touches a game, or do you like it split, 12 to 15? What's best for Miles Sanders?
You just you got to know your surroundings. You got to know what's going on, the situation. I don't think it would be. I don't know. I can't answer that question honestly. I'm gonna just stop myself before I say it. I can't answer that question. But with the talent that we have in this running back room, I have a lot of respect for the guys, and I don't see myself having 20 to 30 carries. I don't know. I'm just trying to do whatever I can to help this team win and get to a Super Bowl. That's my only priority right now.
Well, Miles, when you look at that, and it is, running back by committee or however they decide to do that, I've always heard that running backs need to get into a rhythm. How do you stay in a rhythm if you're in and out and just on special plays?
I think it's I don't know. That's a hard question. I don't know because I've been in both situations kind of, but just I think success helps you deal with that. I guess if you're a team that's struggling, bouncing off of two running backs wouldn't be ideal. Finding that guy that can just go out there and get a groove will make sense. But if you guys are having success and it's an explosive offense, it don't matter who's back there, in my opinion.
You just get it done. Now you look at this offense and a rookie in Jaden Blue, who, coming from the University of Texas, a lot of people listening right now, big fans of him.
Go Penn State.
I knew that was going. Well, a lot of people think Texas Penn State in the national championship this year. But I'm curious, what is the fun you guys have with the rookie in that running back room?
There's not a lot of hazing going on. We don't do that. We don't do that. As far as him, he just gotta have snacks in the room. Gotta keep those stacks up, and for the away games, he has to bring us food for the plane. That's about it.
Are there specific snacks that he has to have every day? Everybody have their own personal.
Yeah. Me and Tay went first and put our snacks on. We're the oldest. You know me, I love good Cheez-Its, Oreos, Gushers. You know, those are my go-to right there. So as long as those are in there, he good with me.
So what's the food of choice on the plane?
Whatever. I don't know. We're in Dallas now. It was different in certain areas, so I don't know. I might have them get me some kitchen and cocktails, maybe some true kitchen and cocktails, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because we know the work. It's not hazing anymore, but they're responsibilities, right?
Yeah, I went through it. My OG was Darren Sproles, and he was pretty cool. All he said was keep snacks in the room and got get look out for him for the plane. So,
and that's
it.
That's kind of normal. Miles Sanders here on the Blitz. You mentioned the word Super Bowl a minute ago. Now we've been around a long time, and some teams talk about it. Others, you know what the goal is, but it's not talked about. You've been to the Super Bowl. You know what a Super Bowl roster looks like.
Yes, sir.
When you were deciding on Dallas, how much did the roster and the idea of getting to the Super Bowl and lifting a Lombardi Trophy factor into your decision to come to Dallas?
Not. I mean, of course, it factor in. You know, it's the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm very familiar with these guys, and these guys the talent has never been a problem here. The talent's all over the place here. Actually being here, then I'm just trying to contribute and find a way to get that team to that next step, probably.
And that's huge because the talent's always been there. Now it sounds like from him and everybody else around the team, it's been the culture. And it feels like the culture is being changed. We'll talk about how that culture is being changed coming up next, right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Remember, you can catch all of those interviews in our AA Best Bail Bonds audio vault at sasportstar.com or at YouTube. We're putting everything there. If you want to watch the interview with Miles Sanders and how he reacted to things, the full interview, it is on our YouTube page in the AA Best Bail Bonds 2025 Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage. It's also brought to you by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, Jim Beam, and AARP. We'll discuss how that culture is changing as we come back right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What will training camp look like under new head coach Brian Schottenheimer? Will it be tough and hard-nosed, or are we in Camp Cupcake? We're breaking it down live for you in Oxnard, California. San Antonio Sports Stars coverage of Dallas Cowboys training camp, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and sponsored in part by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, Jim B, and AARP. All this week, live from Oxnard, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Get a $15 O'Reilly Auto Parts gift card after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of select Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil in-store or online.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
I'm AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6. Your early morning wake-up call on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. You can follow me on all socials at I Am Pledger. You can follow the station at SA Sports Star. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for watching along. Those of y'all that are watching on YouTube, I was talking, as Miles Sanders was alluding to, things that were different with the Cowboys this year, and we've heard it to a man. Culture seems to be changing in Dallas, and there's a lot of commotion about the fights at practice and whether they are disciplined enough, and it sounds like we are starting to figure that out. Earlier today on the Blitz, Jason and Joe were reacting to some of CeeDee Lamb's comments as they were talking about the scrappiness and the fighting that is going on at camp and how they need to, and you just heard from Miles Sanders talk about how they need to be better as a man, as the players, to take accountability. And CeeDee Lamb saying much of the same thing.
Here at Cowboys at training camp, as we wrap up for today, the big story an undisciplined practice that got cut short, and Shoddy not happy. They had to go. They ran sprints after practice. We had Miles Sanders join us right after practice. He's like, I can't remember the last time I got the team had to run sprints because of discipline. CeeDee Lamb, in talking to the media afterwards, was asked about the fight and what Schottenheimer's message to the team was after practice.
Do we want to be champions? Because like throughout the years of us being here, talent was never the problem for us. It was always discipline. How do we like get ahead and not behind? You know what I'm saying? Now, how do we not shoot ourselves in the foot? How do we not hurt ourselves? Obviously, when the momentum is going our way, like we need to continue to keep our foot on the pedal and make the right play and always think about the team.
You know what's great about what he just said, because I can remember many a times over last year, even the year before last, Jason, where the Cowboys would be driving and there'd be that illegal procedure penalty, movement, something that would just a dumb penalty that would, turn 1st and 10 into 1st and 15. And just would make it that much more difficult. And a lot of times would stall drives. And it's just those dumb things that are the undisciplined type of penalties. But I like what Todd Archer from ESPN, who joined us a little bit earlier today here on the Blitz, said that, when it comes to throwing a punch, somebody threw a punch today. The pushing and shoving is one thing, but if you're throwing a punch, that's going to hurt your team depending on who does it because you're out of there.
Well, and it's, again, scrappiness is one thing, as CD said, but you got to stay in control.
Yeah, it's not never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So like, as for us, we just got to be able to like hone it in. Like, okay, that's what we on. All right, I'll see you next play. So go in a huddle, get your play, and then line up again. We finna do this again. Like, so we had that type of energy. Once we get to that point where we had that type of energy, we're gonna be a scary team.
And again, again, the drive that stalls, or the late hit on the quarterback, jumping off sides on 3rd and 3 that gives them a first down. And CD, like Miles Sanders said, I don't remember the last time I had to run after practice, but it's something that this team needs.
It's been a while. It's been a while, but I feel like that was really necessary. I honestly like what he's doing because we need discipline. We need to be able to go through that line. You know what I'm saying? We need to have that availability towards the team and then that aggressiveness at the same time to be able to be as mad and fight between the whistles. And then as soon as the whistle's done, like, we're going to line it up again. So I'll see you next play type. We need to have that type of energy, not we're going to get it done right here, right now, like no matter what. So shout out Shoddy for that. But as for us, we just got to be the best group that we can.
Boy, CeeDee Lamb, just in my mind, has grown up from year to year.
Yep.
I mean, this guy really has. He sounds like a leader on this ball club, and he sounds like he's going to address he'll repeat Shoddy's message. Not that he has to, but he will to everybody else. I love what he's saying, and he wants to win. He got his money, and yeah, that's important. But at the end of the day, these guys are still football players, and they want to win. They want to hoist that trophy at the end of the day, and the Cowboys haven't been able to do that, and that's what they want. That's the goal. I don't care how much money you're making.
Yeah, it is interesting. And again, I appreciate him saying, shout out to Shoddy for trying to instill that discipline, because this has been an undisciplined organization. And it goes back to Garrett. It wasn't just all on McCarthy.
Sure.
But it's interesting that we've had fights every day in practice since we've been out here. And every day Schottenheimer talks about we've got to
It's going to be very interesting to kind of see how they finish this out and what goes on as this continues, because, yeah, they've had fights every day. It's been Sunday, Monday, players off Tuesday, Wednesday. So 3 days. It takes time to instill discipline. It takes time to instill. There is now punishment. We have reached the punishment phase. Now can we start to wrangle this in? And I think we'll have a clean practice tomorrow. I think that Shoddy's message is getting across because you're hearing it, and you're hearing it from the leaders of this team as well. And what will other repercussions be now that people are having to face disciplinary issues and understanding the value of losing those reps. And they talk about CD being a leader. I mean, it's shining through with him because, one of the big questions that's been, receivers love to be like, get me the ball, get me the ball, get me the ball. And that's kind of been a narrative around CD too. And his blow ups on the sidelines at time. But he was asked today, once again, about having to share targets with GP, George Pickens, and having another quote unquote number one on the team and what that's going to be like if he's not getting those balls.
So as for GP, we're going to fight to our strengths. If he love them jump balls, go ahead and get it. If you feel like I need to go get him, I'll be over there. He knows that. So like for us, it's just playing off one another. Whoever's hot, whoever got the high hand, good luck. You know what I'm saying? Because we probably on fire. You dig what I'm saying? So like as for him, we're gonna just play to our strengths. Understand like who got the high hand, who's feeling what. If you feeling it, he can have it. If not, I'll take it. And that's just I feel like we're gonna be the best version of ourselves, and that's how we're gonna get the most out of it. Because once you instill that confidence within both of us, that we could be who we think we are, it's gonna be a tough duo to stop.
And it is. And you throw Jake Ferguson into that mix and the potential of Jadon Blue and what he brings in the receiving game, because we've seen that at Texas and his speed has been on display. Todd Archer earlier today on the Blitz talking about him getting first team reps for the first time. So that's another guy that's going to be in that running back competition and definitely going to be in the mix when it comes to touches and shares and carries. But that's not the only thing. You talk about Jadon Blue, you talk about Miles Sanders, you talk about this running game. Shadi has talked about this commitment to running the football and being able to
try to shove it up their ass.
That's going to also potentially lead to less targets. So CD was asked about, this commitment to the run game. What does that mean in terms of y'all's receiving yardage and your targets and all the things that receivers covet?
Yeah, this is a commitment, man. We want the run game to open us up, and we want them boys to enjoy having explosive plays just as well as we do. You know what I'm saying? We be seeing what they do on the play action passes, picking up the blitzes, picking up the A gaps, like things of that. That stuff hurt. You know what I'm saying? But we don't see that because we too busy in the back end trying to get open, But you get back, you look at it on film, and it's like, how can we repay these guys? So once they break to the next level, just understand that they got guys on the next level that's willing to put it on the line for them. And that's myself included. Like I know I'm a hell of a blocker once I get my mind committed to it, and I feel like when our backers are nice enough with our O-line, our running backs are nice enough to get to that second level. So once they do, the excitement starts, and we'll see what happens after that.
Commitment to blocking, which don't know if it's always been there with the receiving game. I mean, you talk about a Jonathan Mingo, a bigger receiver who could potentially be one of those downfield blockers for that second level, for that run game, to be able to pop those big plays and those explosive plays in the run game that they were always talking about under Mike McCarthy. And sometimes you need those 2, 3, 4 yard runs over and over and over again to pop those big runs later in the game. It's refreshing to hear these things. I can't wait to actually see it on the field because I do feel like it's coming, and I do feel like there's going to be a payoff to this, and it feels genuine from Schottenheimer. Like everything that Coach Schottenheimer has said, it's all felt genuine. Now let's see if it pays dividends on the field, because like they've said, they've got the talent. Comes down to their discipline and their commitment. And are they going to stay committed when things hit the fan? That's what we're watching for as the season grinds on. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I'm James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. Who are the best quarterback rooms in the NFL? Well, the Morning Huddle was debating that this morning. We'll bring that to you coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Want to see Dallas take on Atlanta at AT&T Stadium? AARP is hooking you up. I want winners. Just head to sasportstar.com and register to win a pair of tickets to the Cowboys' final preseason game, Friday, August 22nd at 6 p.m. Cowboys! It's your chance to catch America's team live before the regular season kicks off. I like this kind of party! From AARP and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
South Texas summer is no joke. With temperatures in the triple digits, your roof takes a beating. Call Stevens Roofing and Solar at 210-785-0994. They're local, family-owned, and ready to help. Get a free, no-obligation roof inspection from a team that knows South Texas weather. Whether it's commercial or residential, a small repair, or a whole new roof, get peace of mind with Stevens Roofing. Call 210-785-0994 today. Stevens Roofing has you covered.
Progressive's Teen Driver discount could lower the cost of insurance for your teenager and save you some money. And then you can still spend money on them. Because just when you think you have a grasp on spending, new sneakers. And then it's money for a school field trip. And of course, spending money. Oh yeah, and a new phone to replace the one they dropped in the toilet. Oh, don't remind me. So just get Progressive's Teen Driver discount. And then you can continue to spend money on them endlessly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states and subject to terms and conditions.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. Classes start August 13th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
April Ansira here from the Ansira Auto Group. Every year, the Texas Yes Project provides thousands of students across the state with free school supplies. And now you can help by entering the Drive Away for Education raffle, proudly sponsored by the Ansira Auto Group. One lucky winner will drive away in a brand new car, truck, or SUV. And countless young Texans will move forward with stronger futures. And we'll be giving away a gas card and shopping spree, plus other weekly prizes. Buy your raffle ticket today at texasyesproject.org.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Appreciate y'all riding along with me on this Wednesday.
Hump day.
Yeah. We got lots to get into still before we close the show, as the morning huddle earlier this morning was breaking down some of the best quarterback rooms across the NFL.
On CBS, they did a ranking all 32 NFL teams by their quarterback history.
Oh, the Jets have to be either the most colorful or worse, depending on how you want to define it in their quarterback history.
The Jets are ranked 27th on the list.
That's right where they should be.
Namath is a Hall of Famer who helped engineer the biggest upset in pro football history, but since his departure from New York 50 years ago, the team has only had a handful of capable quarterbacks. The top QBs that they list, so the top quarterbacks in their franchise's history, Joe Namath, Ken O'Brien.
Well, Sanchez took him to the playoffs. Does he count?
And Chad Pennington.
What
He didn't
about
make
Matt
the top three.
Hollywood Sanchez didn't make it.
Did
the
not
butt
make
fumble?
the top three.
That was playoff worthy.
The Bears are 28.
So I was going to say, of all the teams, the Bears have had the worst quarterback history in my mind. Like, they don't draft them. They're not any good.
Well, Jay Cutler is the best quarterback that's ever played for the Bears. He's the career passing leader with 23,000 yards. No other Chicago quarterback has thrown for more than 15,000 yards in their career.
I'm telling you, when you look back at the Bears, it's hard to imagine 100 years of ineptitude. I mean, 100 years of one bad quarterback after another. Was it Bobby Lane? Wasn't it Bobby Lane and Jay Cutler?
No, Bobby Lane was the Lions.
No, then they've got an old school quarterback from the 40s, whoever it was.
Sid Luckman.
That's it, Luckman. And Jay Cutler.
Sid Luckman, Jim McMahon, Jay Cutler.
That was McMahon was there's never been a more system quarterback in the history of quarterbacking, but it is one bad after another. So who's worse? What's 32?
I don't agree with all of these that he's got worse. So 29, he's got Carolina.
Well,
now mind you, Cam Newton was an MVP of the league.
And didn't Delhomme?
Jake Delhomme, Kerry Collins. Jake Delhomme went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with this. Those are decent quarterbacks.
Jacksonville, Mark Brunell, David Garrard, Trevor Lawrence. Mark Brunell was good. They made it to an AFC championship game. But, yeah, there's not much outside of those guys. I get that. This is one I vehemently disagree with. Arizona, 31.
Well,
Kurt Warner.
That's it.
Carson Palmer. Jake Plummer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not greatness, but it's pretty bad.
Kurt Warner won a Super Bowl.
Not there. Not there.
Took him to one.
He did.
With the Cardinals?
Yeah.
He did win that one with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I still think there's no there there.
Worse than the Bears?
Because the Bears to me are by far the worst.
Okay.
And they've always been considered the worst because they just don't care. The Cardinals at least have swung and missed. The Bears just don't swing. They just don't care.
32 is the Texans.
Well,
and
that's a pretty brief history.
It's because they're the youngest team. Matt Schaub, C.J. Stroud, and Deshaun Watson. They're three all-timers.
Well, you got Deshaun on that roster.
When he was good.
Well, I mean, the glory years.
Yeah.
When he was doing it, he was worthy.
The other notables, the worst current quarterback situation,
Saints by
New
far,
Orleans.
yeah.
They're number 19 on the list with Archie Manning, Drew
So,
Brees, and Aaron
let's
Brooks.
go the other way. What teams have dominated the quarterback market? Because the Cowboys have had
Colts,
ups and downs.
Cowboys.
For sure, but when you have at least, if you have a Hall of Famer, I think you're immediately in the top 10.
The Cowboys are fourth on the list.
And they should be. They've
49ers.
been exceedingly lucky.
The top five, Denver is number 5. John Elway, Peyton Manning, Craig Morton.
They didn't put Tebow on that list?
No, I guess not. I guess not. Dallas 4, and he says, if we were ranking solely by depth and duration of quality play, America's team might take the cake because it's hard to find a decade where the Cowboys have been without serviceable, if not special arm talent. Somehow none of their greats have won an NFL MVP, but Staubach's zeal and Aikman's precision combined for 5 Super Bowl wins, and both are now enshrined in the Hall. It lists Staubach, Aikman, Meredith, Prescott, Romo, and Danny White.
Danny White, I was going to say, don't leave him off the list. Forgotten, but early 80s, he won a lot of football games.
Number 3 on the list, the Indianapolis Colts.
They've always had,
Peyton Manning.
Well, up until Luck.
Johnny
and then it ran out.
Peyton Manning, Johnny Unitas, Andrew Luck, and Burt Jones.
I
guess no one's talking about Daniel Jones.
Or Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, Danny Dimes. Burt Jones apparently won an MVP back in the day.
Oh, he was a great quarterback. I remember him in the late 70s. LSU product. Where are the Rams? They're in the top 10? Top 5? Seventh?
Kurt Warner, Norm Van Brocklin, Roman Gabriel, and Matt Stafford.
Man, that's not as illustrious as I would have thought. They didn't put Vince Ferragamo on that? James Harris? No?
So the tier 1, which they say Hall of Fame factories, it's 7 teams. It's Rams, Steelers, Broncos, Cowboys, Colts. Number 2 is the 49ers. Joe Montana, Steve Young, Y.A. Tittle, and John Brody. And number 1, the Green Bay Packers. Bart Starr, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers.
Pretty smooth. And Love didn't
Now
make the
into
list.
Jordan
Didn't make
Love.
the list. Not yet. But, they say maybe someday.
Well,
Maybe someday.
it's one of those are the kind of lists that as Cowboy fan, it's cool, but it's also galling. Because the one thing you have to have, the Cowboys have pretty consistently had it. They just didn't have everything else.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to deal with. I still think and contend Browns' worst quarterback situation in NFL history, at least in the Texans' very small history. Matt Schaub was a passing yards leader, as was Deshaun Watson, multiple Pro Bowls. You've got C.J. Stroud right now. I mean, that's pretty good for the short 25-year history of the franchise, in my opinion. The rest of these guys got 50, 60, 100 years worth of quarterbacks to choose from. So while it's short, it's better. But I look at the Browns and just go, man, this is just god-awful. And especially for the foreseeable future and previous future of this franchise, it has not been good. And you've got to go all the way back into like the 80s to find a really good quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. We have football on tomorrow right here on San Antonio Sports Star. We will bring you the Hall of Fame game as we get set to bring you the Chargers and the Lions right here. Of course, former Cowboys backup quarterback Trey Lance, who the Cowboys traded a 4th-round pick for, remind you, they will be starting Trey Lance for the Chargers. So be sure to lock in right here tomorrow at 7. Until then, check on your loved ones. You never know what people are going through in life, and we will see you tomorrow right here, especially bright and early for the guys out at training camp. The morning huddle gets you started at 6.
94.1. If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities